So that was sort of your first foray into YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So did the war in Chiraq YouTube channel come by after that?
So
This was like 2014, maybe?
Yeah. So this is like 2011, 2012, right? I'm building up. I'm giving album reviews, right? 2013, I do an album review of Yeezus. You know, I just felt like, you know, there's a lot of like, only a select few radio personalities would just tell the truth. And I felt like people just wanted to hear the truth. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm like, this album's fucking trash. I'm going to get on camera and I'm going to just tell you how trash it was. And I just remember I was in my closet just like going in on this album. And I also talked about like state of New York hip hop, but they were like longer clips. What I realized quickly, the attention span of the people tuned into me was young. They were younger.
Yeah.
They didn't want to hear 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They wanted 5 to 8, maybe 9.
Yep.
You got to keep it short, keep it sweet.
Yeah. People wonder why I chop up my clips to that amount. It's exactly what you just said.
Yeah, they were not like, you got to realize it. I became, and remember, now I'm armed with the tools of me being a math major. I'm studying it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wait, 1,000 people tuned in and I only had 300 after the first like 30 seconds. What the fuck am I doing wrong? You know what I was doing? A lot of these YouTubers still doing that. Doing all, like, you're saying too much. They clicked for the title, not for you to say, hey, drop a sub. Hey, hit the notification. Hey, do this. Hey, so you know what I started doing? I started treating that 30 seconds before I could lose that 1,000. That's what you'd be like, I would just rush my intro. Fuck the intro. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
You clicked here for motherfucking me talking about this rapper just got his chain took or this guy just got this. I'm going to get to it like in the first 5 seconds. That's it. So I'm doing that. I'm doing album reviews, whatever. It's growing a bit. And I'll tell you how the war in Chiraq started. Because just like how you kind of said, like you had spreadsheets and shit like that, I started looking at what I was doing as I am the quickest outlet to cover hip hop. And my advantage came like this. If someone, I don't know, say someone fell off stage, the Breakfast Club's going to talk about it tomorrow. But we're in this internet era where people kind of want to see the clip. They want someone else's opinion. I started doing it today. So if it happened today, within 2 hours, I'm already talking about it. So by the time the Breakfast Club talked about it, I've been talking about it. I beat them to the punch, quicker, more efficient. I was on it every day. I was just sitting around. I lost a lot of friends. I lost shit. I think I gained weight. I was just sitting in my apartment just like, yo, what's going to happen to hip hop? And my mic's there. I'm just following hip hop. I'm following everything. Something happened. Within 2 hours, clip. Fastest thing possible, right? So now I start looking at what I got going on, like the newspaper. I'm like, I'm covering these guys like the Kanye's and the Drakes. Mm-hmm. And Chief Keef comes out. So Chief Keef made some song and I covered it. I'm like, yo, this shit's fire. I love Keef. This is great. And remember now, I'm talking to the audience. I'm like, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And about half people in the comment section was like, man, if you're going to tell a story, tell it right. What about Lil J? Who the fuck is Lil J? I didn't know. Okay? I didn't know who that was. But that's what the person said. Like, you got to speak about this whole thing. So I started doing my research. I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, there's like a whole thing going on here. And I'm looking, I'm like, but nobody cares about this though. And every time I would do a video on Lil Durk, Lil Reese, or Chief Keef, and also Fredo Santana, they'd be like, yo, you gotta cover the whole thing. So I said this, and again, now I'm so in tune with the audience. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. You guys want me to cover dudes who, if I cover, you guys might know who this is, but the rest of my audience don't. I'm gonna create a separate page. And it's gonna be like, imagine the newspaper. So you have front page news, and then you have like, you might have like a little fold up in it where
the
it's
variety section.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'm gonna do that shit. And I say, you guys support it if you're really into it. So I created the war in Chiraq.
Mm-hmm.
And when I created that shit, I was trying to figure out how do I cover hip hop in this realm, because a lot of the things I didn't like, I was mortified by. And I said, the only appropriate way is I did it with satire. And for me, the hope was to make people see how ridiculous this was. Because at that time, you know, obviously to a bunch of people who lived in the suburbs who were watching me, there was common shit like, oh yeah, we smoking on so-and-so today. And I'm like, damn, that's someone that died.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
It was just like so common. So I'm like, how do I make people understand, like, you know, especially when you start covering certain shit as journalists, like I'm seeing videos and pictures of shit. I'm like, yo, this is gory. But these motherfuckers is talking about it like it's a video game. So I have to put a spin on this to make it just seem retarded. It's kind of like the Boondocks. Like, what Boondocks did for gangster rap is pure satire.
Oh, yeah.
It just showed you how stupid it is. It still jokes about it, right? What the Boondocks did about people's fear or even the taboo of like the gay rapper, you know what I mean? And then played off homies over hoe. Satire.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do some shit.
Even though it came true years later.
It is. So I'm trying to do some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I start doing it. And you know what the funny thing is? Everything I thought that people would be like, yo, this is some sick shit, they loved. I started giving these niggas nicknames. But it wasn't nicknames like, yo, I was giving them nicknames like, yo, these dudes are evil. Everybody was like, no, these names are fucking cool.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Right? Lil Reese, which he ended up naming a mixtape after. Something like that, yeah.
Exactly. By the way, at this point, I've never talked to a rapper. So no, like, I'm giving commentary on them. No rapper's ever communicated with me. I've never communicated with them. I am as real and as raw as could be. I'm a fan.
No politics, no personal relationships,
I never even thought
no
they
angry
saw
phone calls, nothing. Yeah.
And so I'm doing that. And this is 2013, 2014. And I just noticed every day is just getting bigger. The numbers are just rising. People are starting to just pay attention to like the Chicago stuff. And also they're paying attention because I'm still covering the mainstream hip hop on my other page. By the way, me covering the Chicago stuff was never bigger than what I was covering on my main page. Like it's always had less than half the subscribers on my main page. But the story was never as compelling as the war in Chiraq. Because it felt like an ongoing saga.